Remember the guy that was so excited to see this movie that he made a YouTube video on it? You remember that guy? You know who I'm talking about. I'm definitely looking forward to this. Dude, like kaiju action in a colorful, well-lit city. Yes, bring all that. Bring it all along. Bring it all along. And then have like another monster come and fight and like wreak more havoc on this city. Yes. Poor guy had no idea. Seriously though, walking out of this film, I honestly thought I was back in 2003 when my grandmother was like, son, I bought you a PS2. When in actual fact, it was a Sega Genesis. Can you imagine my disappointment opening that box? Disappointment is definitely an understatement in this regard. But in any case, enough about me. We have work to do. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a while though. It's been so, I've missed you guys. I've honestly had withdrawals from not talking to you guys. But I'm here now. I have returned. I have returned to the internet to talk to you guys about the movies that I watch, the things I do for you guys. All right, enough messing around. We have work to do. Roll the film. Godzilla vs Kong. So Godzilla vs Kong is the latest installment of the Kong movies, or is it a Godzilla? I suppose it's a Godzilla movie, right? Because Godzilla is Godzilla versus Kong, not Kong versus Godzilla. But yeah, like that's essentially as much setup as you need. It's pretty much all this movie is really. It's just Godzilla fighting Kong for a couple hours. Right off the bat, dude, like Godzilla is like super pissed at something. He starts like destroying cities and killing innocent human beings. And you're just sitting there like, what, isn't he supposed to be the good guy? I remember him like he's essentially the equalizer, like he's the protector of Earth, essentially, from other monsters. So him attacking cities is just weird. Like it was just odd. And on the other spectrum of the movie, the humans are looking for this power source and only Kong knows where it is. So they release Kong and somehow Kong and Godzilla cross paths and destruction ensues. And now we have our film. The first thing I want to talk about is some of my predictions in the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer review, thoughts, chat, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to mention what, but I was right in one of them. The only thing that kept me interested the entire time was wondering how they would execute that, like how the story would build up to that moment. But mentioning it here would basically be a spoiler. Anyhow, as I said in the beginning of this video, so Kong is leading these humans to the source of power that they need, and Godzilla is just wreaking havoc in the city, and no one knows why. So we have all these characters that are supposed to like complete the plot, like fill out the plot, because you can't just have Godzilla fighting Kong the entire movie. There has to be like subplots, which is exactly where the movie completely falls apart. It's like no one cares about these human beings. There's a girl, you see her in the trailer. Even with her, like you don't even care about like what happens to her. And it just feels like all the characters have like their own side quests. Like there's this there's this trio that's supposed to be the comic relief that consists of two teenagers and a podcaster who's probably 38 years old. So they're trolling around trying to find pieces to a puzzle that you don't really care about because you came here to see Godzilla fight Kong. And then you have the other group of humans that are following Kong to find this power source that everyone is looking for. And all of it is just so boring. Oh my goodness. I was just looking at these characters. Like every time human beings were on the screen, I was just like, where's Kong and Godzilla? Because the characters are just so one-dimensional. Like you just really don't care about them or their side quests. And there is like no part of the acting that is enjoyable or believable, which pisses me off because that means I paid full price to see a 30-minute movie because the rest of the hour and 30 minutes is just boring human stuff. A part of me thinks that they probably ran out of time, or there was a time issue or a budget issue, because some of the lines in this movie, some of the acting in this movie is just so painful to watch. I think the script let the actors down because these are competent actors, man. These aren't like play actors. I mean, we've got Rebecca Hall, we've got Miley Bobby Brown, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Alexander Skarsgård, Brian Henry. These are people that know how to act. But somehow it just didn't come across on screen. It was weird. It's almost like Hollywood was like, you know what? We don't need what is this story business? What is the script writing? What is that? No, just give the people a fight between two giants and they'll be happy with that. No, we won't. We need story, man. We need to be engaged. We need to feel something in the movie apart from two monsters just punching each other. Speaking of plot points, this movie has got like the craziest amount of similarities to Pacific Rim I have ever seen. I wish I could list them here, but that would be considered a spoiler, and I don't want to ruin the movie for you in case you want to watch it, which you shouldn't. Let's talk about the fights. The fight itself was okay. I expected to feel more in the fights. I expected to be at the edge of my seat in the fights, but it just ended up being meh. It's like, it's okay, it's cool, like, there's a lot of destruction, big monsters are fighting and punching each other, and yeah, I won't say I didn't enjoy it. It was fun, but I just expected more. I'll give you an example, and I hate to do this. I hate to compare this movie to Pacific Rim, but it's just so similar that there's no other way to do it. Like the third act of Pacific Rim, you go through stages of excitement. First, the fight is at one level, and then it builds up to the next level, and then it builds up to the next level. And just when you think you're done, just when you think you're about to breathe, it goes up one more level. That's the kind of adrenaline rush that I was expecting. That's the kind of excitement I was expecting from this movie. But in the end, guys, this movie is poorly written. The action is mediocre. The acting is subpar. The dialogue is pretty bad. Again, with that, I always ask myself this question, like, who writes these things? Like, who does Hollywood have in mind when they write these things? Because we're here. We are here. People that want good stories and the action that Hollywood can bring to us, we are here. We are here for it. But they don't want to write good stories to go with those movies. I mean, we're not asking for much. For example, like John Wick is a good movie. I think it's not an art piece. It's not a masterpiece, but they attempted to tell a story and had the action accommodate that story. That way you're engaged the entire movie. But this movie has none of that apart from just a couple of fights that are kind of entertaining, which in this day and age is honestly not good enough. So, Godzilla vs. Kong, have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Jot it down in the comment section, punch the subscribe button, punch the like button, and I will see you on the next review.